you tell us a little bit about, what that's like for these families?
Mark, I'll tell you something. Imagine you right now. Just imagine the person that you love the most is killed. I want everybody to imagine. I want you to imagine. I want everybody right now for just 1 second. Just imagine the person that you love the most is killed. And not only are they killed, get arrested. Just imagine it for just 1 second. So and this lady has to now figure out a way how to, and when I mean Sabrina and her and his father, they have to figure out a way to continue to live. And that's what's hard. And I've been going to protests since Rodney King. So I've seen this, But I will say the evolution of the protest is what I'm encouraged about. When it comes to the personal thing, I reached out to Trayvon Martin's mom, and we've stayed in contact with each other for these years because once the limelight goes away, they're still left with this pit in the chest.
Yeah.
And so if she needs something, right now she's running, for everybody listening, Sabrina Fulton is running for commissioner in Dade County in Miami. I think that's commendable for her to go through this tragic loss of her son. But now she says, I want to make a change, Jamie. And I remember talking to her how she said, I want people to understand that my son was a 17-year-old boy before he's black. I said, why do you say that, Sabrina? Because I want people to see him as my son first. And then he happens to be black. And so we've stayed in contact. And now she has a thing called the Circle of Mothers. If anybody is watching, please go on the Circle of Mothers. And there's about 25, 30 mothers who've gone through the same thing, but no limelight. Nobody ever heard their story, but they're still hurting. So we stay in contact with them. And then before our tears could dry for Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd happens. Oh, he says, I tried to pay everything forward. I tried to do everything right. I got my education. I'm passing it on to them. My oldest daughter has a master's degree. What do I say to her about her baby brother? I said, wow. And I just listened. And that's the thing. When people are talking about celebrities, we don't go in as celebrities. We just go in as people. I come in from a man from Texas, a boy from Texas, listening to a man from Georgia and just say, hey, man, you need me. You call me. George Floyd. I felt like in this situation, all hands on deck. All hands on deck. Because this was the first time we saw something so horrific in public where a grown man, cried out for his mom.
Yeah.
A grown man who was already handcuffed, for a man who had no regard for life. And I think this is a turning point. Because when I talk about the evolution of the protest, when I got to Minnesota with Stephen Jackson, Stephen Jackson, that was a good friend of George Floyd, and I stood with my brother. But the evolution is this. It was young white kids, Mark, 18, 19, 20, 22 years old, who were screaming out Black Lives Matter. It made me cry, bro, because it was like, damn, we've been saying this for a long time, but to see them pick it up, it was 90% white. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's remarkable about this, is that now it's turned into Black Lives Matter, but Black Lives Matter and the whole human race is involved with it.
And it's not just Black Lives Matter, but it also is Black Lives Matter to everyone, not just to Black people. It's like that's the other thing about, the marches that I had seen in the past. And when you look at old footage dating all the way back to Martin Luther King and those marches, and then you move forward to after Rodney King, and there's been plenty of other protests. But if it's about Black lives and it's only Black people marching, I didn't think that there was really a significant enough movement happening until finally, you've got white people equally marching side by side and listening. And it was and I, as a white person, I'm a Jew, but I'm a white person, so I get away with pretty much anything white privilege. Let's be honest. White people have that ability. education is huge, right? Like really understanding the facts of what the fuck has been going on all the way back since slavery and what this country has done to continue a version of that slavery all the way back from the 13th Amendment Netflix show that just came out is a must-see for everybody, every color, every race. And still it's going on today. It's mind-blowing. And the list of things, I made a list earlier about all the problems that we have to overcome to make things even remotely close to equal. And it's such a long list that it's not even, to some people, like, how do you tackle this? How do you get one of these things done, let alone 20 huge things? But let me ask you this question. How does one keep this going? Because to me, our running problem in all categories, the virus, gun control, and we talked about this the other night, it's related, right? Yeah. What can be worse than a bunch of children getting gunned down in a school or losing one's child? Well, it's so bad there's no word in the English language. I can tell you that. If a parent losing a child, there's widow, there's widower, there's orphan. But that's so bad. It's so horrific that we watch over and over and over again guns killing kids in schools. Then you think, well, okay, hopefully something's going to happen because there's so much outrage about that issue. It seems very easy to do something about it. And then you move over, then it's not just kids. It's now in Las Vegas, a whole crowd of people outside of a music concert. Then it's the literally congressional softball game gets shot up. And still, it's been little to no gun control change, but a whole lot of noise for a short amount of time. And people's minds are like so short term. Yeah. But this is all related, I think, gun control and systemic racism, all that stuff. My real question is what do you think is important for all of us, black and white, to do to go beyond the news cycle and beyond the political pressure of, okay, I'm going to make a speech and change some things so hopefully it quiets everything down. We can go back to business as usual. I think that everyone disagrees. I don't think we want that to happen at all. I mean, there's always going to be the pockets of psychos. But I mean, but like people that can make changes, what do you think and what have you heard about in the circles that you're running in at the protests, et cetera? What are some suggestions to people to do? Like for a white person, what do they do? What do they say? What can they do to help if they legitimately want to help and make it meaningful for a long time?
Well, here's the thing. A lot to unpack there, but what I will say is this. We need to get our sensitivity back. I think we need to hold a lot of people accountable. When you talk about media and how they cover things, it sorts to desensitize things. They sensationalize a lot of things. So we have to sort of look beyond that and look towards the humans. I could tell you on the ground level that, man, there was a lot of love and a lot of peace going on. So I understood that, they had to show sort of the salacious stuff, but I will tell you that we are moving in the right direction to getting our sensitivity back. When it comes to just police brutality and things like that, you just have to change the law. What I would suggest is that when someone that is a police officer does something wrong and fatally kills someone, they have to be concerned that they will go to jail for that. And unless that law is changed, we're not going to get anywhere. It will always be these kumbaya moments. But we are getting laws changed, the chokehold and these different things that are being banned. And I think we also, when it comes to police, and I know a lot of police officers, and what they will whisper to me is they need to make the police department a profession. Meaning like at 18, 19, 20, that's your grooming years before you're on the street. So they will have some type of wherewithal of what's going on. And at the same time, I think if it's funding, when I talk about police funding and defunding, I would say this, is that we have to increase funding when it comes to psychological help. If you think about it, police officers only hear bad news all the time. Just think about that for 1 second. It's always, they're bombarded with bad things. They call me and you, Mark, because it's good things. So that's weighing on this man's mind as well, along with the other entities that's going on as far as systemic racism and all that. So I think they need 24-hour a place that you could call and say, hey, I'm dealing with, so I could decompress. And then inclusion and diversity training. So when you go into a Chinese neighborhood or a Japanese or black or white or Jewish, that you know something about the people that you're stopping. And then compassion, man, compassion. And here's the one thing where, as a black man riding in my car, if I see a police officer, even now, I immediately like, oh, what can happen? We just need compassion. Like when they stopped the guy, Brooks, and God bless him, where was the compassion to say, hey, man, I know this dude has had a few. He's telling me that my daughter, I just celebrated her birthday.
Yeah.
Where's the compassion saying, he says, I'll lock my car and I can just walk a few blocks because I don't want to get an infraction. I know I'm where I'm at, but the compassion so it doesn't escalate to where it is. We have to do that. And then the other side of it is when it comes to white people and what they can do, whatever you feel like you need to do, when you close your eyes and imagine that is your family, whatever you feel. I was talking to, I hope, I won't say who I was talking to, but I was talking to a very high profile white person who's really jumping into this and helping out. And he said he was talking to his friend and she said, well, all lives matter. And he said, hold on one second. He said, let me break it down to you like this. Imagine you go to the doctor and your doctor says, hey, you just did your checkup and your liver is bad. We have to take care of your liver. Unless we take care of your liver, you could be in trouble. Not saying that your heart, your kidney, and your lungs don't matter.
Right. This is the problem with today.
We have to take care of the liver, because if we don't take care of the liver, the whole body will shut down.
Yeah.
And I said, that is a perfect way of looking at it. Like, we're all humans, man. But as a black man, I asked my white friends for more help, because when I was out there on the streets and I looked out over there and I saw all of these races and mostly white raising their voice, saying Black Lives Matter in the city that I live in with Black Lives Matter signs, I just start crying, bro. And that's what it needs. I'm asking for the help. And then for the people who, Mark, that you talk to just really can't get it, stop trying. You know why? Because when you look at the Netherlands, New Zealand, when you look at London, all these places all over the world, there's enough to go around to get the ball rolling. And there's enough human spirit for us to overcome this and get the healing and taking care of each other. And I will say this, if you get a chance, man, just make sure you give shouts out to these victims and these families, because they're going to need it. Because when the lights go out, they'll be left with a lot of hard, tough memories, and another long road ahead of them with a lot of, with a lot of emptiness.
Totally.
That's it.
I agree. Couldn't have said it better myself, obviously. I hope it lasts longer than the news cycle, because too many things in our country that need fixing get lost. And I know you've been working on gun control as well. I don't know how deep you want to get into that, but I thought your project of gun control is real and really brilliant. It probably has a whole lot of questions about how it could really work with guns that are on the street already, and then new technology and stuff. Can you briefly just give us a 5-minute on what you're trying to put forward?
Here's the thing: as I met with you, Mark, and I said, listen, I think that we can have, without giving the idea away, but I think that we could have responsible gun control. But I'm a gun owner. But when it comes to that, we cannot sit back and allow people to be murdered in the ways that we've been watching and become immune to it. We need our sensitivity back. And the things that I expressed to you will be a way for us to not only almost eliminate those situations, but also for the people that are protecting us, because they need a way to protect themselves. So if there's a way that we could, without giving it away, if there's a way that a security guard would know that this person has an AR-15 or whatever like that, we'd be able to alert people in our schools, just like how we have kids, man, in our schools. And they do, I don't know if people know this, but they do kill drills now where the kids write on pieces of paper saying goodbye to their loved ones, because this is the only this is their only choice. And I don't think we should live in a world like that. So, like I said, we're going to need all hands on deck, and we're going to have to get our sensitivity back. And I think the future looks bright in that regard. I know that right now we're in a place of where everyone's, digging their feet in the sand, and we're a little contentious right now. But I will say this is the last thing I'll say. with everything that's going on right now, just look for the good in people. Right now, all we're doing is looking for the bad in people in every situation. And even when I look at media and sometimes I shake my head, I say, wow, they're looking for the bad of every situation. And I call some of those guys on the phone and said, bro, give me one story.
Give me something positive.
Give me something positive, man. You can't keep saying so-and-so on the left and so-and-so on the right and so-and-so against this and black and white. Please, because it's not like that when we're out there, Mark. And you've seen it. When you're marching, you see these peaceful people saying this is what we're dealing with, but look for the good in people, man. And I don't know why
our media is so focused on fear mongering and scare tactics and shock. It's like I know that they need money and ratings, but my God,
it's money. At the end of the day,
so sad.
We have to turn our backs on some of this. When you look at media, this is.
I mean, that's why we're doing this. Honestly, I find it like more refreshing to get. I mean, look, I'm not reaching an audience of CNN or Fox, but honestly, I'd rather just have intimate conversations because it all starts within community and friendship and trust of one another. So moving on to a brighter subject because we only have like 5 minutes. As a super fan of Mike Tyson, and you did a little imitation earlier, I'm not going to make you do one now, but you can if you want, obviously. Yeah. But so I saw Mike a year ago at his ranch, and I said, the Tyson movie happening? He goes, I think so. Yeah. Then I saw you a couple weeks or a month later, and you're like, I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. Now, I think it's going to happen again, but can you just give me a definitive yes, and when, and how is it going? It's a definitive yes. And the reason that it's a yes because look, doing biographies is a tough thing. Sometimes it takes 20 years to get them done. But we officially got the real ball rolling. And I can't wait to show people. This is excellent news, brother. What it is because, most times people do I met Mike Tyson in the weirdest way. I was on stage doing stand-up years ago. Mm-hmm. And I get to my Mike Tyson joke. I was a young dude, like 22. I get to my Mike Tyson joke and nobody claps. Nobody laughs. You know why? Because Mike was there. Yeah. And this when Mike was knocking motherfuckers out for nothing. Oh, yeah, and a dude yelled out, yo, Mike is in here. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, gas. It was immediate. And then some black girl was in the front like, what you gonna do, Jamie? You scared? You gonna do your joke? I said, shut the fuck up, right? And then the dude yelled out, said, yo, Mike said do the joke. But that shit better be funny. And I was like, oh, shit. So the crowd went from looking at him and then looking at me. I do the joke. I get a standing ovation. Mike runs up on me. There he is. Come here, you crazy motherfucker. Come here. I want to talk to you. And so I started hanging out with Mike Tyson. So I got a chance to see Mike in two different ways, two different lives. I saw him at the height of his career. And then when things got bad, when things got bumpy, I also saw him as well. So what I'm excited about the movie is to show those moments of the different Mike. When I called Mike a couple of years ago and said, Mike, how you doing? He says, I'll praise to Allah, my brother. I'm just happy. So why are you happy? I'm just happy because I don't have a crazy amount of money anymore. So I don't have any vultures around me. So nobody can take anything from me. So I'm just happy. How are you, good brother? And I said, ooh, that's the person that we want to show. We want to show everybody evolves. Everybody comes from a good or a bad place. And I think when we lay the layers on Mike Tyson in this story, I think everybody from young and old will be able to understand this man's journey and the way we'll place it. And then just the technology of how I'm going to look, I guarantee you people will run up on me in the street and ask for autographs and think that I'm Mike. Because you obviously did the Ray Charles story, won the Oscar for it, and you had the privilege of being with Ray Charles. He was still alive at the time, and I know that it was very meaningful. Are you preparing in a similar way to that? Music, sports, whatever. But how are you preparing to be Mike? My phone in there. What I'm doing is right now is changing the body. So now what I do every other day, I do 60 pull-ups. We do 60 dips. We do 100 push-ups. We do this. It's changing the body. Top half. I ain't got no legs, so I ain't gonna. Yeah, because he had that. Yeah. So I ain't got no calf muscle, so we're gonna have to get some prosthetics for that. It's all good. So we're gonna shoot all the way up. We're gonna shoot up here, Yeah. What we're doing is we're just changing. We're changing the body, and I'm gonna show you something. This is an exclusive. In changing the body, we will be 216 pounds when we shoot.
and then we will balloon to 225, 230, which will look like 250 on screen. And here's a quick picture of what I look like.
Wow.
So now
it looks like young Mike right there.
Young Mike. And here's the other one. There we go. We on our way.
Incredible.
So once that happens,
that is movie magic, because I saw your arms the other day, and I'm just saying they weren't.
So once that,
I saw the other day you weren't ripped like that. So movie magic is real.
So once that happens, and that was a picture like just like a couple of months ago. Once that happens, then we'll start to add on who he is and what he is, just the way he orders his food, what he cares about, and I think that's what'll make the movie go.
I'm very excited to see it, and let me tell you, this has been an amazing experience for me, and I hope everybody watching. You are again one of my favorite people, in the world, and certainly as a fan, you are my favorite. And Marlon can be mad at me for that later, but
no, that's my guy.
But you're the best, and I appreciate your time. And let me just ask you this last thing: is there anything you're not good at?
I can't bowl, Mark. Can't bowl, baby. I got ADD. So
are we gonna play golf soon and see how you get?
Yeah, man. Hey, now
I got the bag.
I tried to hit.
Anybody didn't see it.
Enjoy that, man.
With the sound system.
WizPack. Go follow us. Go follow us on our Instagram. WizPack. Get your WizPack. It's a great gift.
It's loud too, man. It's very loud. Like it's loud enough to entertain. I had the kids dancing in the house to this the other night. We had a full dance party around the bag. I'm gonna send you the video. It's great.
That's great, man. Mark, man, I love you, baby. Peace.
And I'm gonna just tell you, let's meet at Sugar Bar when New York City is back open.
All right, let's do it.
Stuff on Thursday open mic. Sugar Bar is amazing. I'll see you Catch soon. My other question was, what's your favorite restaurant? But I think we
Catch, baby. Catch, baby. Catch me at Catch at all times.
I'm earning my money now. Thank you very much. Much love. Thank you for you.
I
appreciate it. Bye. And that is